transitions between both these maps, the consistency that our teams are going to have, and with TSM and NRG being at match point, I mean, Fallout, the script just writes itself at this point.
It absolutely does. And look, yeah, a lot of Dark Zero love trying to manifest an opportunity to have another team at match point for some more Apex and for the Aussies to go back to back to back, but you can't deny NRG and TSM. Statistically speaking this weekend, NRG, #1, most average total points per game at 8.63. Every single critic, and even he acknowledged it doesn't count until I win on LAN. We'll look at this opportunity for a player and a remarkable human being, by the way, one of the brightest minds from Kansas City, Missouri. Opportunity to close this one out, but guess what? Right behind them, TSM, second place in total statistics for total average points, 8 points per game, and second place in total kills per game. They have both been fragging and frying, and they are putting on a clinic right now for the rest of the lobby.
That's why they're the top 2 teams right now in the overall lobby, sitting down at match point. Onyx can very well just meet them after this game. We're going to see how that plays out. NRG, Sweet having to rotate all the way to the beacon first because they didn't have a beacon in their POI of staging. They're going to be quick with it, though. On World's Edge, we already saw it before. They run the Valk, Watson, and Loba. And on Stormpoint, they do change up that variation with a Bang, Valk, and Seer.
That's right. Most important thing right now, you see the map on screen, the quick rotate from Lava Siphon. This is a favorable zone for TSM. They can close this out here if they find God's spot. They correctly predict the zone rotate. Meanwhile, NRG, not a bad zone either. They want to hit that second beacon, but they're going to find the guard on the way, and they don't want to take that fight. Neither does the guard. They want to both rotate early, live to fight another day, so it looks like NRG is going to ignore that beacon, and will just take an early rotation with the info that they have, obviously, rather than waiting for the zone to close. So instead, NRG makes their rotate through.
Can we talk about how quick a lot of these teams have already been with it just to get into this next zone? I mean, there is that beacon in the middle of Lava Siphon, like we saw TSM already get that scan, already start their rotate, but EXO, GO, Moist playing on the edge, NRG already in the middle of their rotate. Alliance is going to start rotating soon, leaving Thermal. They're going to have that beacon there too. And let's tune into the guard who already get the crack over here in Harvester.
That's right. Rambo. Pushing through, trying to be the tip of the spear right now. No blue shields for anyone here on the guard. They rotated so incredibly fast. That's what they're known for, RKN. Currently living in Atlanta with his wife, who's a nurse, and just a remarkable human. Had a chance to meet her. They're both, I think they're relocating back to Florida. Big shout out. Keon, former D2 basketball player in the United States. He's an athlete, and he's also such a dominant controller player. Going to level up his Evo shield, but the guard decides not to take that fight for now. They're going to continue their rotate as opposed to contesting Moist Esports.
I mean, look at them. They're sitting in 19th overall. They need to get this KP. They haven't had the best game so far, as Moist are going to be quick with the rotation too. Taking a skyward dive, they're going to get the scan here. So many other teams in the middle of their rotate. They also have the beacon, so they already know where the circle's going to be pulling towards the south side, close between that launch site entry area.
Let us know in the chat. Of course, crowd's going to keep making noise. You want Dark Zero to do it? It's not looking good right now. They're going to get focused. The pylon goes down. He immediately going to be destroyed from Moist, most likely. EXO nearby, an aggressive team from Apex South. The Thailand squad knows how to end people's dreams.
EXO playing on the inside though, and Moist are looking at the action, but they're also getting pressured out by another team that's behind them. You can see the missile storm coming in. They put down the gen. They negate some of the damage, and Pricey's trying to get into position.
Dreamfire eliminated. TSM knocks EXO. So TSM keeps Dark Zero alive here. Look at the map. Look how stacked this rotate is. Every team is here. 19 squads left. This is the fastest we've ever seen anyone rotate. Only 4 teams on edge.
They know with the quickness how quick they need to get in here. How gets the knock with the Arc Star. EXO now down 1 member, playing this as a duo. Trying to restabilize, can't heal up, and that's the information from the Seer attack. But with the Digi threat, you're going to be able to see through those smokes.
That's right. Guess who's there? TSM. And I believe TSM has to be aware that Dark Zero is right below them. Of course, Reps on Seer is going to give them that intel. But DZ enters the fight! DZ is going to wipe EXO!
DC, you talked about it before, fella. I don't know if this is just you blessing you them in the same time. The thermite coming in, the beam from TSM.
DZ is going to reset here. Wow, they survived on a sliver of HP, but Moist is there! The rivals from Apex South! The former second best team in Apex South, now taking over the region.
Get that EMP, they get that information, but they have to look to their 6. Remember, they did get contested by another squad right behind them. I believe that may have been DZ who wrapped around. Now in the point of view of Moist as they try to take control over this building.
Are you kidding me? Dark Zero gets back inside, but the knock's gonna come through. And MT, the IGL for the squad! He gets the stack!
Huge knock!
Oh my god! Dark Zero eliminated!
Dark Zero get taken out by the Moist boys. It's getting wet, it's getting sweaty. Huge stick with that arc star.
MT is the IGL of this team. Typically not the fragger, not the flashiest player, but right there, he was the absolute tip of the spear. It was like a sharp spear from Wakanda, is what it looked like right there. Unbelievable from MT. And look, I tried my best, but you give Dark Zero some manifestation. That didn't work at all.
I feel like you curse him.
Don't say that, no.
Gotta say how it is. TSM, though they backed up, because remember, they were participating in that fight from beyond.
Yeah.
They're now inside that next building, neighboring Moist. They've taken control of that second floor. You see Verhulst taking some shots with Reps and Hal, making sure that Moist isn't going to try to push in on them. Reps is getting that information.
Yeah, and I just want to analytically kind of break down a little bit what we saw right there. I mean, Dark Zero was just in such a bad position. I'm surprised they survived that long. They're on low ground. They're able to somehow survive, come in, wipe EXO, avoid the TSM third party, and then immediately work back in the house as they recognized TSM was going to back out and take another location. But ultimately, Moist was the unfortunate rain on their parade, as we got Moist right here, right now. And actually, it'd be interesting to jump into a listen with Moist Esports. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I got one.
Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah. Got it. I've got no bats, no bats.
One bat.
10-2, I can drop you one. Yeah. Coming back to you now. Drop me 2 cells. Already? Go. Yeah. Was that...
I got Gen. I can't get it down. I'm putting it this side then.
Yeah, I can't get bacon anyway.
Alright, that's fine.
Just a quick little listen into them pretty much looting at that point, because they already hit their rotate. They're just going to be chilling. Both TSM and Moist have great positioning and just going to poke each other with some sear cues here. Moist under some duress, but should be just fine with that Watson.
Love the comms too. Wondering, hey, did you guys splag that purple weevil that was mine real quick?
We've all been there in ranks, you know?
There's manners out here in
That's
Apex,
right.
and Fnatic doesn't care about them. They're chasing after another team right now. Charge Rifle beaming down another player, breaking that crypto.
That's right. Fnatic in 14th with 22 points. This is what's so much fun about Match Point. There's always a team or 2 or 3 that can completely ruin the opportunity for Match Point squads to win. It was much worse before we had anonymous mode, obviously, in the game. Now that we do, it's hard for these teams to tell who's who, especially with a lot of repeat comps. That kind of very popular TSM comp of Valk, Seer, and Horizon might give them some disguise.
That brings you back
Yeah,
to the
right.
very final moments of champs.
It was crazy. I mean, teams would intentionally int the Match Point team. A lot harder to do now, so a lot more competitive integrity that way. I think that was a really, really great change for Match Point. Obviously, this Match Point format is so unique, so much fun from an entertainment perspective. Provides so many different stories. Who can keep this story alive to go to Chapter 7? Instead, will TSM or NRG close this out in 6?
For the players, it's about stamina here too, staying consistent. Nathan gets beamed from a distance, playing underneath tree here. Again, just to remind anybody just tuning in, NRG and TSM are sitting at match point. With NRG running their World's Edge comp currently, they're looking to sit in final circle positioning, but they don't want to stop their momentum. That's what we saw in the last game. They still want to play on top of their game. They still want to rack up the KP. They still want to keep their points.
That's right. Taking a quick scan around some of the other teams left in this lobby. 12th place right now is Fun123. Former AD Raccoon, top 3 team in APAC North. Obli and Karanpu picking up Sangjun. Great shields right now for them. We'll see if they can find a way to break through. 30 points overall, they need 20.
Let's check this
As we're taking a quick scan around some of the rest of the teams remaining in this lobby right now. The Guard in 19th, Exo Clan in 18th, Space Station in 17th, Element 6 in 16th. That's the bottom of the leaderboards. On the top, well, Onyx Esports. We have not talked about them, and we need to. The Boogie Boarders signed by Onyx just before this event. In 3rd place with 46, Xset with 43, Alliance with 41, as well as Dark Zero, who's eliminated from this lobby. Team Singularity, representing South America. And now once again, I'll say, Forza Brazil, what a show for the South Americans.
Yeah, I love to see the South American scene rallying behind Singularity, giving them all their energy. I've been seeing it on social media, and I love how you also highlighted Onyx, because this is their opportunity to also be sitting at match point, to sit alongside TSM and NRG. As we actually take a look at the overhead of Onyx inside of this building, 3 squads in this vicinity.
We'll let the stage set here as we get ready for this late game. Tension so tight, so intense. 17 squads remain. Can you imagine the pressure, the moment? Mandy gonna get tagged up, just a little tickle of a Seer Q here, as Alliance is gonna be well positioned for now. We'll jump on board with them as we take a look back at Harvester. This is our edge teams. Fun, rotating for Thermal Station. This is huge right now. If they take out Xset, that's one of our match point contending teams. That means it's more likely for our two teams to win, and NRG and TSM.
Going in here, though, they still have one white Evo shield as Xset have the health advantage. They're trying to gatekeep them, but they're getting shot from behind. They have to look for the third party that they're going to inevitably beat once they start their rotation.
Right.
Fun with the information, though. They send out the Seer ult. You can currently see they're trying to chase down these players who manage to go onto the low ground.
I love that. They're immediately aiming down sights to try and beam Obley, but the head glitch is there. Nice shot from Obley using line of sight. He's going to melt, doesn't get his crack, but they're taking so much storm damage right now, Viggy. They're just going to reset. They have time. The storm is not ticking for a lot. And Xset will continue to gatekeep, but E36 is there. Fun's peers from APAC North might come save them.
That's the
No, they
third
won't.
party.
They're saying, "We outta here."
That's the third party I was worried about. And they're actually, I like this call here from them too. They see the Seer ult on the other side of Harvester at the very end coming out. They're backing away because instead they could just prioritize rotating into circle just to gatekeep, not just Xset, but Fun on top of it.
That's right. The gatekeeper will become the gatekeep E, right? With Xset gatekeeping Fun right now. Still in zone, by the way. E36 is going to try and do the same potentially. Xset's going to back out one level further. They know they can't play this too hard because they will be stuck from zone. They know they have to prioritize rotate, but they also know that Fun is breathing down their backs.
And look who's on the high ground right now. Fnatic made their rotation from the train tunnel, leaving out of Lava Siphon. This is huge because they're going to have a high ground advantage of all the action from the teams rotating away from Harvester.
Yeah, that's a great position. This is always a kind of mid-game god spot, if you will. They're going to get scanned for now, though, and right in front of FNC is E36, who we mentioned previously. This is basically a 4-course meal of APAC North dishes. We got some sushi, we got a couple of different entrees coming, because we got Fnatic from Japan, we got E36 and Fun from Korea, and then, of course, Xset, the Americans, trying to join in and see if they can be the last team alive.
Fnatic are getting griefed by charge rifles from left to right. I mean, right now they're just trying to make sure where the other teams are. You can see them just trying to aim down their sight. Ooh, get some information though. The nades are getting sent down as Alliance
boy.
take care of Shady.
That's huge. One match point contender takes out a member of another with a knock. Fussy, Rocky, team of two, last two alive. Does Alliance decide to take their numbers here? The Seer ult is there, they're gonna run out of it, but they are scanned. Waiting for the scan to dissipate. Here comes the push. Alliance trying to step on the gas pedal. They're gonna get some damage off the rip. Look at the patience here from Onic. And Alliance wisely decides to back out. Here's why. You might be wondering, these teams, are they nervous? Why are they not taking these fights? No. Alliance, Xset are both on match point, or sorry, close to match point. They know they just have to make late game, and they'll get there with placement points. They don't need the kills. There's no reason to play ultra kill hungry and aggressive. I like these calls coming through from Alliance and Xset.
I really like how you highlight that because aside from Onic, Xset, Alliance, Dark Zero, Singularity are also tied for 39 points before this game here too. A lot of these teams have to change up the way that they play depending on their goal. Currently, Fnatic are also right behind Fun. Xset are going to help take them down as they exit out of this lobby. 16 squads left, and Onyx still playing as a duo. They managed to pick up the banner, but it's about the information. You can see Rocky just going to be able to get that information, holding on to that tactical, waiting to see if they have the opportunity to maybe wrap around, but look who's on their 6. Look who gets word of the party that they did not get invited to. It's Space Station, making the rotation from the south side of the map.
Space Station nearby. And I'd love to take a look at the overhead map if we can to show you where the zone is pulling. You see it at the top left. We got the next zone intel. And it's Ascend in zone right now. TSM right nearby. They predicted it well. Alliance gonna push through. Oh my goodness, the beams are gonna come through. Mandy, SSG joins in and takes out Onic.
That's what I was worried about. SSG was middle of rotating away from launch site. They get involved in the fight. And Ascend, who was in that next circle like we just saw, that usually like to hold the truck with the Watson fences, now may be able to get involved.
NRG!
NRG now getting involved in the fight. Guild gets the first knock.
Another TSM and NRG fight. Raps has to go big. No, he's gonna get taken out. TSM down to 1. NRG down to 1. It's a 1 versus 1. The best 1v1 player, arguably in the firing range, is Gilderson's. But Moist is there. Are you kidding me, Guild? What you got?
Moist, NRG, Reps is out of there like swimwear here. He gets out the Yeet bracelet. They finish off Sweets. They don't get the finish just yet. NRG are still in.
There's no way that Gilderson's just survived. Are you kidding me? Gilderson's.
I'm out.
Ice in his veins. He's cold. Ice cold. North Carolina represent the teenager who just a year ago broke out into the scene by getting picked up by Team Liquid. Hodzic found him. He gets swooped up by NRG, and now he has a chance to maybe recover some banners as Moist is gonna have to rotate. Reps is out, TSM and NRG down to just one. Gildersons is the only hope for this game to end.
They said, we don't need a Seer to find you. We'll find you ourselves right underneath the building, right on the outside. Guild is still alive. He's able to restabilize, but can he collect the banners?
All he needs to do here is be small, be quiet. I can't believe what we have seen so far in this competition.
The Seer ult right in front of Guild. The information from the team on the high ground right now. Look at this, Alliance, force outside the buildings, E6 rotating in. Look at this chaos between Space Station and Ascend, while Ascend created an entire fence line around the truck.
That's right, 3-team affair, and this is in zone for the next zone. Ascend, SSG, E6. Here comes the push, the Gibraltar Dome falls. Denial, no shield, he gets melted. The knock's gonna come through, it's all just enough. Sorry, Frex is last alive. In 1v2, Frex is! So he's gonna get taken out, Frex tries his best. But Ascend is gonna eliminate him from the lobby.
Space Station out, Ascend now getting involved. Remember, they were right behind him. E6 get taken out. They were running the double big boys, and they're no longer shaking up this lobby as Ascend are gonna go right back to where they were taking cover.
Gildersons is still alive, and the only reason is because Moist is running a Seerless team comp. Moist prioritizes Watson, Crypto, Apex South Special, early rotate, and play for zone. Moist was the second best team in total average placement points per game behind the Guard, our two earliest rotate, most defensive teams in the game.
Now look at this with Moist playing on the inside, painting the inside of this building with the Watson fences. E36 are on top of the high ground of this building. Ascend aren't gonna be moving. They did get involved in another fight previously, but they get the extra cover. Moist still alive here, gonna be able to also have so many death boxes at their feet so that way they can actually reset, change up their weapon loadout if they're low on ammo at the same time too. 7 squads left. Ascend, Moist, Guild, by the way, still alive. E36, Fnatic, GO, and the Guard.
Gildersons did not obviously get banners, no way he could have. Is gonna have to rat. He's so clutch. Could you imagine a world where Gildersons right now, Vicky, wins a 1v2 or a 1v3 to win the tournament for Sweet, getting him his first championship ever, and proving how smart Sweet is for making this roster move happen?
Look, he's already a legend, but that would just put him on the top. Fnatic now, able to move in from the low ground, playing from right behind the rock, gets the crack, it's Yuka. They're gonna be able to send it down onto the Guard as Rabo's the first one to go down.
Off to toss with a knock, but Yundi is gonna third party, just like that, the res needs to come through. FNC needs to go quick, E36 gonna come and run on top of them. Can they get there fast enough is the question. The good beams, wide right angle from On to E. Aimbot, Yundi pushing wide. Oh my god, that was a Seer ult. Nice PK shot from On, gonna connect as well.
It's prioritization so that way they don't have that information. Backing away, trying to dance around the barrage. Enter Force now, down from Aimbot. On is gonna try to restabilize here too, hiding behind the gold knockdown shields.
That's right, big fight right here, big moment. Oh, Yundi getting the shield bed off, he's going to. Can't see a thing on screen, the smokes are abundant. Ascend though, very well positioned in God's spot. Gilderson's still alive.
Gil putting down the black market, getting what he needs here, denying that from Fnatic as they get eliminated. E36 now trying to run away. Gil trying to clean up some KP at the same time. The lone warrior left from NRG.
This is a game of hide and seek right now. Gildersons is channeling his inner 13-year-old playing Call of Duty or Halo 3, just hiding from the rest of the lobby. Unbelievable.
Let's tone it back here. With Ascend being a full man squad, GO only up to Juzna, the only one alive. Guild, the only one alive. 2 rats against a full squad that has the high ground.
Unbelievable. 2 teams of 1's gonna make it so difficult for Gildersons. Juzna, look at Juzna's positioning, Vicky. Juzna is inside the building, but has no exit without taking quite a bit of storm damage. So you got to think on low ground, Gildersons and Juzna. The Crypto ult is going to scan out Guild. It is very, very grim right now. Ascend, the Portuguese squad who picks up the new Polish rookie in Lufka. With an opportunity to close this out, they likely will. They have complete control, Vicky. I don't see a world where they lose this game, but hey, crazier things have happened.
Sending out the bracelet through the windowsill into the line of sight of Guild. The 1v1 comes in, and Kashira already with the information, gets the EMP. They're gonna fully send it on to Guild. No time as Ascend clean that up as an easy win for them there in that game 6, that final game against NRG and GO.
And La Familia, Ascend stands up. Papa Kashira in the building. He's battled so much with his health. You've seen Kashera get emotional in so many interviews.
Look at
And he
Papa
just made-
Kashera there too.
Amazing.
I love
I'm
it.
getting emotional just taking a look there. Ascend with a huge game. They will rise the ranks into the top 5 and maybe, just maybe, unlock match point. I didn't see their point total, but they might be there as well, Vicky. They might be the only EMEA team confirmed. They are at 54 points. Ascend represents Europe and unlocks match point.
3 teams now making their way to match points.
Says comment there, it's not done yet.
Yeah, it's not done yet. It's actually crazy. We are going on to a Game 7 follow, and we are making the transition to Stormpoint.
I cannot believe what has unfolded. We get another game, 7 games here. Will we get more is the question. Or will NRG, TSM, or Ascend close it out in 7? I cannot wait for this next game on Stormpoint, but before then, we gotta throw it down to the desk. Rain Day, Glitter, Tiff, Genome, take it away.
How about Ascend? We saw the fans screaming. I saw Mama Papa Kashera up there making some noise. LFG, I'm not gonna say it on broadcast. No, it's family friendly right here, but you can kind of understand the sentiment. Glitter, Ascend, the EMEA hometown heroes, but also the amazing support, the family dynamic, and the story of Kashera and his parents, his father specifically. It is now a possibility they are on match point.
I mean, talk about a comeback too, because we were so focused on NRG and TSM seeing what they could do on World's Edge that we weren't even really too focused on the teams below. The massive performance for Ascend, and what I love about this now, we're back to switching the maps over again. We're going to Stormpoint. This is a massive win for Ascend because they're very strong in this map.
Tiff.
I mean, look, this is what we were talking about this morning. Production was like, hey, yo, we need your picks. And I was like, this is where we think it's going to go. We want to see 7 to 8 games. And if that happens, we're going to Stormpoint. So we picked the teams that were going to be better on Stormpoint, at least historically, right?
All right, Gino, talk us through this game here.
Yeah, look, Exo Clan have been struggling. They've had a couple of early game exits so far. We also saw another bit of APAC South action there with Moist taking out DZ early and hurting their chances of reaching match point. A couple of those teams now sitting up there in the 40s. Onyx, they were at 46, got no points, and as a result, it was only Ascend that now moves up to that match point eligible status.
Wow, just an incredible showcase too. Alliance having some moments. They're one of our teams that are slowly closing in on match point, and big moments from TSM that almost went their way.
Yeah, so I was talking through with this Monsoon, and he was like, you know, TSM is going to be in one of the best positions along with NRG in that underneath the center tree. And he said as soon as that ring started to pull back, that they would have to move to the building that TSM was already inhabiting, which is exactly what you saw NRG do. And unfortunately, things just went completely south. They're starting inting on each other, and then Ascend assumes that amazing position. They have the Watson, they can fence it off, and honestly, I saw Lufka, who was kind of just keeping an eye on that. He was watching the fences, making sure, looking down below. But the fact that GO and Guild, hello Guild, ratting it out in a Seer meta, let's go. The fact that he was able to get to top 3, if he would have clutched that, I don't know what I would have done.
Listen, the smart man knows how to fight. A wise man knows what to say, so he doesn't have to fight. And I think Ascend just kind of watched that one and said, not our time yet, and took the right position. Obviously, Ascend feeling very, very good after that, and heading into what will be, I'm sure, our match results. You can see that 11 kills, 12 placement points, put them in a position for a match point almost assuredly. NRG so close, second place, but not enough to close out the tournament. So guess what? We'll go again. Heading to page 2 though. Looking at these teams, yes, TSM are already on match point. Yes, ESA coming very, very close. They started strong. They have kind of fallen back off. But looking at Dark Zero, who are in 8th place right now, and you even look at the fact that XSET is a team on the other side of the things. When you take a series of results, you're going to see how close this is starting to get, with Game 7 very much approaching. 3 teams on match point, Tiff, and it is 6 other teams 10 points away from being able to join them.
Look, this may just go the distance. I predicted 7, Genome had 9. We might actually be going towards 9 because I have a feeling this next match that we're about to experience, you just have to pick up, I mean, XSET, they just need to wipe one team.
Yeah.
They can go out south of 18th place, but as long as they win that initial 3v3, they're on match point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, with NRG that far ahead, 80 points, they have probably locked second in the bag,
Yeah.
at least least 6 figures about to be transferred into their bank account here.
I mean, you know, for all the success that they have outside of competing as well on stream, maybe don't even need it that much, but hey, they'll take it, I'm sure. And of course, it will be very, very worthy, but they don't want second. I don't think they'll be happy with that. The money's one thing, Glitter, but they want to hoist the trophy.
I'm glad you said that because we've mentioned it a few times over the weekend. There are only 2 teams that can claim the title of the championship here at LAN so far in this game. And NRG has come so close so many times. You don't always want to be the bridesmaid and never the bride.
And to be so close in terms of I have the opportunity, I have the opportunity,
Yes.
I have the opportunity. How does that start to play on your mental? How many times can you go and almost make it happen and then not see it done? This is a crucial game for all the teams on match point, and you know the players have to step up to make it happen. So if you're seeing a player make some incredible plays, if you're noticing that these 3 teams have had a standout start to you, you can vote for our ALGS MVP powered by Monster Energy. Use the hashtag and then the player's name right behind it on Twitter or on Twitch. Let us know who you think is going to be the Monster MVP for today. Also, we always take time to celebrate the common elements of the game that makes Apex so special and so difficult to master but easy to pick up, which is why for our segment here, we're going to take a look at WD Black's What's in Your Pack. Today, I want to talk about the Golden Knockdown Shield Tiff. It has played a role in not only today, but a big part of Apex games in general.
Yeah, it's been one of the most critically valued items. You can see you revive squad mates with bonus shields and health, but there's a lot of different scenarios that we have gotten to witness it in so far here at the Split 1 playoffs. One of my favorites right here, NRG. This was the circle we were talking about because we thought we were going to get a recreation of it here in this series. The fact is they were able to utilize the bracelet on the Loba, go back and forth and shoot the reses, but one of my favorite moments, Glitter, was when we were casting up there the other day.
Yeah.
It was going to be Geo, Gombre. The fact, the way they utilized that, it was the most impeccable thing.
Yeah, this is it right here. Newcastle at the moment is passive retrieve the wounded. It gives you 750 damage. That is actually a lot. You need a full team focusing that down to punch through that knockdown shield, and with the ability to move your teammates around while you are reviving them, it makes it incredibly impactful on top of the fact that you get that extra health and shield back when rezzed.
Really smart play there. Dropped the shield, gave it to his teammate at low health, knowing he was going down, so that he could pick him up without having to use a med kit, shield batteries, Glitter. Those are just the intricacies that make pro play so fun.
That's why we're at the level that we are at here, and I'm glad that you caught that while we were casting too, because it was literally a split second. There was barely enough time to drop that shield, and it changed their entire outcome of that game for them.
Well, big shout outs to WD Black. That's been What's in Your Pack. What do you have to say? I mean, those watching at home, are you hype? Are you ready? Those in the crowd, you guys hype? Are you ready to see somebody win this thing? You know, this is one of those moments that it just starts to build, because now we're having Game 7 approaching. Will we get a win? We've got some predictions, but somebody's going to have to not get given this opportunity. They will have to take it. Coming up next, Game 8 here in London to see if we get a winner or if we go one more time.
Welcome back, Copper Box Arena, to ALGS Playoff Match Point Finals. Fallout here alongside Vicky Katie. We got one more game. We got a game number 7 with 3 teams at match point. It's Ascend Club representing Portugal and Poland. It's TSM and NRG. Scripted. You would really think it's scripted. That's how good this final has been. Are you kidding me?
This is crazy. I mean, Ascend is one of the most consistent teams, if not the most consistent team in EMEA, and they are looking to represent, showing some love to the crowd, showing some love to EMEA, the scene that has been able to rally up behind them, the first team from EMEA to make it here on match point.
That's right. Apex Twitter is losing their mind. I saw tweets from Monsoon, Vaxlon, everybody can't believe what we have here. On the far right of your screen is Nathan, the only of 2 players to unlock 1,000 kills in all-time ALGS history this weekend. Huge, huge accomplishment for Nathan as we take a look at Ascend.
Love it here. We get to see the Ascend family on screen. Look at this. Gotta say hello. The Kashera fam, absolutely love the support. Very touching story from Kashera, his pops, rallying up behind them. I love feeling the crowd energy here for our players. Talking about us making the transition, though, onto Storm Point. This is incredibly important. Ascend's composition allows them to bunker down like they do. They're very good at predicting where the zones are going to be pulling, and that is always their priority. Now that we're making the transition to Storm Point, as you guys can see right now, game number 7, Ascend, one of the teams alongside Dark Zero, GO, and Xset to take 2 wins on this map in this entire weekend.
That's an important stat line, Vicky. So once again, Ascend has been dominant on Storm Point. So a really, really important story going into this last and final game. They're dropping uncontested with opportunity to go huge here and win another game because they've been so consistent on this map. Can Ascend do it for EMEA and become a champion, much like they were in the Winter Circuit years ago? Once again, all of Portugal is watching, the entire Portuguese esports community. Right now, the backs of these 2, Kashera and Postkill.
It's so crazy for them to have been able to secure that W on World's Edge speaks volumes, because let's not forget what happened at the very beginning of the day today. When we did start on World's Edge, Ascend ended their run at 15th with no KP. The second game on World's Edge, 18th as a placement, 1 KP. Then when we make the transition into Storm Point, where they're the strongest, they got 18th with no KP, and then following that, 4th with 8 KP to their name. After getting that dub and 11 KP on World's Edge, they're gonna just carry that momentum now into their best map. I'm so excited. Again, this script writes itself.
Can you imagine our first European LAN championships in Sweden of last year? In about 8 to 10 months, first with a live audience, is what I meant to say. And Ascend comes in as a European team and just steals the tournament win right under the nose of TSM and NRG, steals the opportunity for Sweet to win his first championship. That would be unbelievable. As we take a look at the overhead map and show you, Dark Zero dropping in Mill. Ascend drops right outside of Mill, just southeast. So DZ potentially on a rotation. They like to play early rotate. They don't like to fight, so it's unlikely, but could potentially take out Ascend. I mean, they know Ascend is dropping there. Do you think teams will start getting a little bit more strategic? We know Dark Zero was doing it yesterday. They were inting on purpose.
We could see, I mean, remember Fun also with their quick rotation on the gravity cannon to try to cut off the guard when this is a team that also likes to quickly rotate. And as we can see where the circle is going to be taking us, Ascend looting exactly what you're talking about. Their POI, north of Cenote Caves, they're going to be able to get that information. But the one thing that they're missing, they don't have beacon information in that building off to the right of Postkill. Kashera is trying to get into position to maybe try to scan a beacon. If there is a beacon close to the mill, as you can see, Dark Zero is going to be looting that POI.
That's right. Keep in mind, they do run crypto, so they'll have a chance to scan and rotate. Kashera now just clearing out some prowlers and rotating through here. ESA nearby, just south. This is what we're seeing right now. Lay of the land. Take a look at the circle where it's going to be pulling. It's just going to be over down to Gale Station. LG rotates here. This could be an opportunity for Luminosity in 15th place to try and make a comeback. SSG, favorable zone for them as well with Replicator.
Let's talk about where this circle could be taking us, Fallout. Let's break it down as we see Luminosity already in Gale Station since they land in Fish Farms and they have the beacon. We've seen the circle plenty of times before, usually landing on one of the buildings of Gale Station. If not the buildings, then to the north of the buildings where there's a lot of open space minus that slight little high ground that you see on the choke point between Launchpad and Fish Farms by that rock. So Luminosity now going to be playing by the edge. Ascend in already some trouble. Kashira did manage to get the scan on the beacon close to Dark Zero, and Dark Zero are not going to let them go.
And this is exactly what we highlighted. Dark Zero likes to be strategic. Fun, or PvP is one of the best coaches, and Ascend's going to say, don't you dare! Sit down, Dark Zero! I'm the king of the mountain!
The trade for
Lufka!
trade, though. Zero getting the knock into the Shamrock, sliding through. Not in the way that you want in your DMs. Dark Zero is the first squad to get eliminated. Gotta eco it real quick here. Lufka feeling himself when he was literally one.
And I'm so curious to get the thoughts of DZ there on why. I mean, did they decide to push and try and grief Ascend to take matters into their own hands? Or did Ascend hide and rat? We didn't really catch the fight early on, and the sigh of relief from their coach. But in my eyes, Dark Zero, you need 9 points. You gotta trust the system, trust the process that other teams will take out Ascend in late game and just rotate, play for placement, much like we saw XZ do last game and others.
The thing is here, Follow, is that they heard the drone from Kashira scan the beacon off to the right building of Mill. So they already know where Ascend land. Yeah, they already know where Ascend is in the standings. The fact that they're at match point allowed Dark Zero to be like, okay, well, you know what? Let's just try to different them. Yeah. And the thing is, Ascend also have amazing shields to work with in terms of loot. Lufka having the gold Eva.
Yeah, I respect the confidence, but sometimes confidence isn't the only answer. A little bit too strategic, too thoughtful for DZ. If that was the case, if that was intentional. Again, we're interested to get their thoughts. But yeah, you're right. I mean, every team knows where every team lands. They knew that Ascend was dropping there. They've played on Storm Point already, and it's well aware. You know, it's public knowledge. Sven Apex, big shot to Sven, drops all the map info before. So of course they knew that they were there. They rotated through. They tried catching them off guard, but they got punished. And I disagree with that. If it's game 10 and there's 7 teams on match point, and there's a likely chance that the game ends, then yeah. And you're in 18th place, then yeah. But if you're right there close to match point, no reason. Don't want to harp on it though by any means. Kudos to Ascend for winning that 3v3. Lufka went huge.
And also wasting no time to make this rotation.
All 3 kills for Lufka, by the way. Look at the top.
Absolutely,
right
no, he went crazy. You saw him go for the slide from the rock. He was able to clean up the rest of Dark Zero, feeling himself, and that's the confidence that we like to see, especially from a team sitting at match point. They're also going to be able to not only quickly rotate with the Trident, but they're the only team underneath the beacon building, the beacon in where this next circle is going to be pulling. We know that the congestion spot has already probably been Gale Station, leaving out of Fish Farms, LG, or lands there. They had the beacon there. They already had that information. It's beautiful here. Onyx is probably going to join in on the fray too. Space Station usually land in Launchpad unless they want to try to gatekeep another team in that choke point north of Launchpad. They'll also be the team that is going to inevitably meet themselves with the other teams that have the high ground by the choke point leading into Gale Station.
Yeah. Good breakdown, good analysis there as you jump on board with TSM. And just a heads up for everyone in terms of what's in the replicator, in case you weren't aware right now on rotation, is the purple scope, purple sniper scope, purple extended sniper mag. So a sniper heavy meta, which is why we're seeing so much sniper play. A lot of longbow, but Hell says, nah, just give me an R301, I'm good.
I just can't wait for the weekly rotation to also change in a bit. I don't know if it's happened just yet or we're going to get it soon here, but that mobile respawn beacon is in the replicator. What does it mean, though, when the mobile respawn ends up being on the ground? That's what I'm excited for if we keep going through the series here, as Fnatic are also going to start making their rotation on the Trident.
NRG, you saw them doing the armory.
Oh.
On the rotation for Checkpoint ESA in 11th place. They started strong in this tournament. They won a game on Storm Point, slowed down ever since. TSM hits a Valkyrie. This could be a crucial one. Where will they place?
They were really close. They got second, but they got 8KP to their name right there too, as TSM with the Skyward Diver coming in from the north side.
That's right. You know, Verholst and his Valkyries over the years have been improving. Hal, of course, very critical of those Valkyries, but Verholst right now navigating the skies very clearly. The captain, the pilot of this team right now. Verholst going to slow play this rotate, and they're going to land Oob or out of bounds, and then rotate through, and it looks like it's clean. TSM, safe rotation into the next zone. That's big.
I like this. They love this building. When they make these rotates to these southern zones, especially when Antenna's in that next circle, they love this. But looking at the fight from Ascend, they get beamed by a charge rifle, but they get the knock immediately with the Havoc.
Yeah, and Ascend used to, keep in mind, they used to run Newcastle and Watson, all pro league, right? We know how comfortable they are with that team comp, but that means they also know how to beam that team comp. Lufka is playing so unreal. He's brand new to this roster. They're playing unbelievable. Let's jump into a listen-in with Ascend.
You're alone, Lufka. It's fine, it's fine. Back. Okay, you ignore them? Yeah. No, she's moving there. Can we loot a bit? Yeah, you can. I cracked the other team. Nice job, Lufka. Did you got 2 kills or what? I killed only 1. We got 2 kills. I'm swapping weapons. You killed I'm getting destroyed by another team. Down high. Accelerate on their post. Okay, I'm gonna take it, dropping a bot. Nice job. I'm gonna take the beacon. We have 3 teams close. I don't know if there's another team in chief hall, boys. I don't think so though. The Valk is on the top on the roof. You have to go closer and push her. Yeah. Can.
And there you hear from Kashera, IGL, this team, navigating the team so well, and that's why they're so good. Continuously slept on from a global perspective. Everyone talks about TSM, everyone talks about NRG, but Ascend came into this tournament as a favorite. And if you ignored that, if you denied that, then you're insane. They've been playing so good in a very stacked and a region with a lot of depth in EMEA for a long time. They won the Winter Circuit playoffs with VJ a while ago, and since picking up Lufka, they've been great.
I love the way that Kashira talks to Lufka too. It's almost like he's pulling him back like a Pokemon,
Yeah.
just returning to his Pokeball out here.
Duo, right?
It's actually insane. And NRG, as we tune in, they're getting shot at earlier, and they're going to be able to hang out by the gate, try to see which of the squads want to rotate outside of Jurassic Park, as ESA are going to be sharing some of this low ground with Fnatic.
Yeah, same way you keep me in check sometimes. I get a little wild with this
I got
sometimes.
you
Big things
sometimes,
got me, you know what I'm saying?
There's Fallout moments.
A lot of love for my girl Vicky. Thanks so much, everybody in chat, for all the energy, everyone in the crowd, for all the energy and support throughout the weekend. Gosh, this has been so entertaining, so much fun to watch. The growth of Apex as a pure form of entertainment in esports is unbelievable. Fnatic here from Japan, a global affair. Can APAC North represent right now the best chance? Well, it's Ganbarea Tucson from Korea in 10th.
Where we going? Where we going? Nowhere. I had to juke you real quick. Got to keep you in check. And they were like, oh no, wait.
I'm the driver.
Miscommunication real quick out here. As Fnatic is like, okay, we made it exactly crossing the open field into the line of sight of where we originally saw Ascend. Fnatic is doing this because they want to get the beacon that's right on top of this building. They got the Bangalore smokes to allow Yuka or Matutasha, as Matutasha is going to take the high ground, to get that next set of information.
You know, we've all been there and ranked with our friend. Hey, yo, get out of the front seat. I'm driving. You know, we've all been there and ranked, kind of goofy. You didn't think at the pro level that would happen as well. As you
I would
see
never
here.
let you drive a Trident.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know how good of a driver I am of a Trident? Just wait. I navigate the seas, the lands very, very well with the Trident on hand. Jumping on over to Phonyhead and ESA. 18 squads left. Once again, a stacked endgame circle. Phonyhead currently in a great position here on edge. Not in the next zone, but certainly well positioned with Fnatic down sights.
Geo also getting a knock in the feed here as ESA are holding onto this high ground. This is fantastic for ESA because they saw the opportunity to come right back up here. They're going to be able to also pressure out the team that we just saw. Fnatic just rotate on top of those buildings. And with the beacon being right there and ESA not having a crypto, they don't really have the free opportunity to get that beacon scan. They may get pressured out by the spots to the right, but if they're busy fighting another team, then they want to try to take advantage of this opportunity.
ESA knows how to fight, likes to fight. Cody on controller. Luda, the Canadian, representing Canada. Sentinels ain't here. Here comes the push, Phonyhead. The IGL protects as he turns, he's gonna be, but Phony goes down. Yuka goes down as well. Meltstera gonna melt. And just like that, it's all up to Cody. I believe the last alive. No, he's not, he's dead.
He's gone, he's out of here. ESA now, Fnatic gonna be able to come out on top. They're gonna be able to get the shields up on top of that too. And it's only up to Luda from ESA, who survived with 1 HP from the outside of the Cyril.
By the hair on his chin, will Luda escape? But ESA tries to ape, not able to do so. And you know, Vex Gaming tried something interesting. They tried playing Catalyst for that reason, to be able to push buildings with confidence, take over doors. It didn't work for Vex, obviously. They didn't make it past the elimination bracket round 1. As we now have Phonyhead going to get taken out, and it's all up to Luda last alive. We can take a look at the overhead map, though, and show you exactly how things are going to end. Ganbarea Tucson, the top APAC North team taken out. Fnatic trying to take that spot. But let's look at the overhead map, or the side-by-side map, if we can. Take a look. Ascend is in the next zone, and they're deep south, with the potential to get a Trident, which we've seen teams do before. Use the Trident deep in the waters while everyone else fights, and it's no man's land between them. Will Ascend play that way is the interesting thing. Luda finally gets taken out here with an easy little pick from Yuka. Nice shots, though.
What was great is that it just looked like the whole lobby wanted to light him up.
Yeah,
Nobody is safe out here. He tried to take to the skies, and it was basically out here for everybody to shoot at. Team Singularity now just trying to get away. Creeper Barrage being called in by them. But this is the other team coming in. It's NRG now getting involved right here. Remember, this is where we also saw TSM originally rotate. They're probably still within the vicinity after they took that skyward dive from Verholst. They're finishing up some of the members of Singularity here before NRG try to call off to reposition if they want to disengage.
And I love how NRG's playing this. Shout out to Sweet. He's probably saying, let's just keep playing our game. Don't change anything up. Don't get nervous. He's been here before, and a lot of people have criticized him. Does he show up on land? Does he get nervous? Can he IGL to top tier? Yes, he can. And he's showing why right now, leading his team with such great success and such decisiveness is Sweet. They're still playing for kills. They got a few there. TSM's going to join in. They're playing aggressive, and they're trying to maintain that lead. 82 points right now above Ascend with 59. Keep in mind, that's another micro storyline here. Yeah, match point's important, but you got to rack up points if you want second place, which is a big chunk of the $1 million prize pool.
Yeah, that's exactly what Rainday was saying here too. You want to be able to pocket some of that money out here, even if you don't manage to win a game after reaching match point. And NRG are leading the way with huge points currently. as it's DF on the other side inside of these buildings.
Quick update, X set 2 points for match point, Alliance 5. And they're both still alive. As we got Alliance and TSM nearby, if we can get the side-by-side big map on screen, actually, hold that thought, might be a fight here, we'll pull that up in a second, but Alliance and TSM are neck and neck, close to each other. The Bangalore ult's gonna come through from Sweet, he's gonna tag for shields, gets the stun, and that Bangalore stun is so grueling, but they're not able to follow up.
See that player on the high ground taking the gravity lift right now as NRG are trying to find an engagement.
Let's jump into a listening with NRG and hear exactly how Sweet's making the calls.
75. I have to back. Watch out, grenades. Watch out, Guild. 130 on Bloodhound. They're inside. Okay. They're inside. I'm smoking the doors. Okay. Brookdale. Can we get angles from the far side? Yeah, I'm trying. I'm gonna get swung here. They're shooting up. I hit Help, Guild. I'm batting on the door. Are they on roof? Yeah, they're all on roof. I'm needing it. 30 on one. I'm med kitting. 80 on left. Flat behind them, kill them all. I will once I med kit. I'm 1 HP. I need a bat. Falling on me. 800 on this guy. Yo, you gotta do something. Blood on front. The guy's dead. Blood. Blood. Bangalore's low. Knocked one. It's 1v1, Gildy. He's very low. He's so one, man. You gotta just keep chasing. Why can't I talk? So nice. And then run forward and Falco. Run to the other way and Falco. Fuck, man.
Gilder sends the clutchest 1v1 player, and Apex shows it. Obviously his opponent was weak, but that was a 1v2. He got the first knock and Flake. Sweet said, Guild, you gotta do something. And Guild said, aye, baby.
So much happening as how was the last one alive for TSM? He gets eliminated as fights are breaking out everywhere. You also heard the calls from NRG. Guild, take to the skies, go. The circle is closing in. You have to find somewhere where you can go hang out by the edge. But so many other teams were so quick with the rotate. Now it's only up to Guild alone to survive once again.
Guild, the last
Alliance, they see him though.
Alliance
He's forced to move forward because of the circle, but they lose out on Yuki. It's Moist that has Alliance clean up another one with a quick little heady out to Guild to eliminate NRG.
That's right, I sounded like Mario there with that screen, please forgive me, but Alliance Hockey's with the headshot to close it out. Style points is really what that was. Alliance now with an opportunity at 47 points to get to match point, Vicky. We have one team left, and it's Ascend, and I previewed it earlier, but they have the potential to use the South Pole in their rotate to win.
Fnatic trying to push around the side of Ascent. They put down the Seer ult right now to get the information as the Rolling Thunder gets called in. Kashira maybe trying to find an opportunity to unleash the EMP to negate that Seer ult right now. Now they're going to be able to have the advantage. They have the advantage. Goes to the side. He goes to the flank. They get 2 knocked from Fnatic.
Post kill and Kashira, the duo. That's it, they take out Fnatic. Ascend is earning this. Ascend is playing out of their minds. They took out Dark Zero. They took out Fnatic, but here comes Xset.
Oh, and Xset knows that they're already weak. Thanks to the Zero right here too. Xset are gonna be able to move in.
The most grueling Bangalore ult perhaps ever. As Ascend is out, we're going to another game.
Absolutely huge as Xset are at 51 points Fallout. They take care of Ascend, and that allows them to elevate to match point.
Xset makes it. Can Nocturnal do it? So many people have disregarded him as an IGL over the last 3 years. Finally, over the last year, he earned his respect. But no one considers him the best. It's all Sweet Dreams. It's all Imperial Hal. Nocturnal has been performing for so long and has an opportunity here. In this next game to close it out, they hit 51. They're at match point. Moist Esports at 48. Alliance at 48 as well.
While we take a look at Alliance right now, while they try to plan their next move, they're not in the next circle. Let's jump into a listening with Alliance.
Bro, you. Fire. Devaco did. You guys gotta run it. I'm dead to zone, yeah, I'm dead to zone. Find a spot to play, Mandy. It's all you, probably. You wrap the low ground, Mandy? Wrap the low ground. I'm coming. I'm still ulting for you. Thank you. Getting bottom, Mandy. On me. I'm needing stairs. Alright. Get in the bottom, need attack it.
Oh, Oh, you hate to see it. The miscommunication between Mandy and Hockey's right there. As Hockey's wanted him to come bottom, they could have just basically turtled up and survived and eaten placement points and gotten to 50. But instead, Alliance Hockey's had to do it by himself as everyone else was fighting outside.
Hockey's still alive, but they're only 2 points away from being able to also be at match point. Space Station in a lot of trouble. Zenile trying to slide through. He gets the crack right now.
Does Hockey's know that SSG is so damaged right now? Hockey's is out. Is he eliminated? I think so. Here comes the push. It's going to be Fun 1, 2, 3. And they're going to take out Frex's. SSG out. Fun, the Koreans. They feast.
Hockey's couldn't fully send in that moment because he knew that Fun was already inside the building after putting down that Seer ult. He had that information. Now playing on the lower end of the building. 6 squads left currently. Fun.
Hockey's, what?
Mandy's
Are you kidding
alive.
me?
Mandy is still alive. He crawled out of the building. He gets res by Hockey's. And Hockey's with the clutch res. They need 1 more kill to be sitting at match point.
Hockey's and Mandy need 1 kill. Are you kidding me? Hockey's found a way to res Mandy. It's all up to Mandy. It's all up to Mandy.
Oh, they go down. They go down. They can't get it.
Wow.
E6 taking their position as
49
K-Sweeney.
points, Vicky.
It's so close, Fallout. There's so many other teams on that border. It is actually insane in this Game 7.
Alliance 49, Moist Esports 49. That is unbelievable. But we still have a few more teams. Fun 1, 2, 3. If they can get all these kills here, can maybe get to match point. Okay, they need quite a few.
X-Sets right now looking to solidify their momentum after already hitting match point currently. It's only up to Sykes. That player is 1. He gets the knock. It's Fun over on the low ground. It was 1 here, 2. Fun get eliminated. 4 squads left. ExoClan, E6, the guard, and Sykes getting the res.
The guard needs the 17th place with 26. Family in the audience. Rambo, RKN, and Keon, the brand new pickup on this team from Utah. The monster, the beast, the basketball player, the guard on high ground. Look at their positioning, Vicky. This is the most RKN thing I've ever seen.
This is our house out here. The guard are going to be able to hold on to this high ground, hold on to the rock. They've created the fence line, and they have the height to look at these 2 squads rotate in. The only problem here is Fallout. In less than 45 seconds, that circle is going to close in behind them. They're going to have to move forward.
Let's jump into a listen with the guard. This is going to be insane. Let's jump in with RKN.
They don't know that. They might not. Just go AFK. Go AFK. Can I look down and shoot, you think, or no?
New gen behind us. New gen behind us.
Fighting under us, maybe?
We can't drop. Val's in the open. They're gonna focus each other on the far side. Everyone's gonna die except for us. Everyone's gonna die except for us. This team's looking. We have to drop. We have to drop. We have to drop. Kill under me. I died. Kill dead. Play on me. I'm bringing knock.
Yeah.
Wow. They're all going to die. But instead, the guard gets down. Nice shots from Keon. He gets eliminated. The guard's going to be out.
Currently, E6 are finally finding their momentum here, too, as the guard get finished up. Exit now fully sending in as E6 doesn't have the health advantage. Exit playing off the rock, but they lose out on Sykes.
That's right. Fun. Playing wide right. So incredibly talented. Can he clutch up?
Oh, he gets the beamish, though. The hit bar is connected, but it's up to Nocturnal to clutch up for Exit. E6 has the man advantage, and they win game number 7.
Element 6 led by K-Sweeney, the Frenchman. The lone French player in these finals clutches up when it matters and skyrockets to 8th place with 43 points. They stay alive and the fans react. The British team, Slayers and Amphi in his debut.
But so many teams, Fallout, are literally right there. 1 point away as the crowd goes crazy for E6. 43 points in total for E6. It may not be match point, but this is exactly what E6 needed to wake up. They had a really rough start, but now they are rolling around, changing the momentum.
Slayers, the gentle giant's been a staple on this roster since the beginning, since the 69 IQ days with his good teammate and friend Smegito. He's been competing. They pick up K-Sweeney, and they elevated as a team. This man right here, the Kraber monster from yesterday, has been making plays and does not get enough respect as a top IGL in the world, let alone in EMEA, but that's going to be it for us. K-Sweeney, Element 6 on top. Rain Day, back to you.
All right, EMEA having their moment. There's just a few representing them here in this match point finals. But guess what? It is Element 6 showing up big yet again in a clutch situation. And I'm sure they're excited to see it. The fans, electric behind us. Welcome back to the desk. Rain Day, Glitter Explosion, Tiff, and Genome. That is the passion that will fuel you on. Amphi Slayers, Case Swinney, talk about Element 6 right now, having their moment.
I mean, they kind of really snuck that one in there at the end. We were watching that push, and Xset was wrapping around them, looking so strong. We need to see what happened from their side of things, because that was a phenomenal save to close that one out.
And, you know, Xset had done a great push. I thought, actually, they were in the driver's seat there, but Element 6 rotation to get the high ground proved really valuable in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely all about perspective, right? We saw that when we initially watched the 1v1 with Yuki and Hal. We saw it from Hal's POV, but Yuki was in control the whole time. So you have to think about that. When we run it back from Element 6 POV, it'll tell a completely different story. But I am not surprised that they just came out on top here, because let me just roll back the clock. ALGS Split 1 Pro League, match day number 1. Guess who comes out on top with the first match win of this year? It's Element 6. They had Slayers on Lifeline, and it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And I reached out to Case Swinney, and I was like, yo, dude, like, tell me how you're feeling, right? They brought on Amphi. He's like, yo, Amphi is so good, right? They put him on a Valk for a little bit. They taught him all the rotations, and they were like, I'm so excited to work with Amphi this year, and to see the team chemistry start paying off. We know the fans are happy. I enjoy it so much.
And they picked their spot in the crowd so well. They're like directly in front of where the Element 6 team is,
strategy.
right? So exactly, that energy from the crowd is just going directly into that team.
All right. Game number 7 was crazy. We're going to another one, but Genome, talk us through what happened to these match point teams here.
Yeah, so I was keeping my eyes squarely on the 3 teams on match point, Ascend, NRG, and TSM. Ascend, they started out with a contest against Dark Zero. They won it, a bit of an early scare, but then they found a really good spot at the bottom of the zone. And as you see later on, unfortunately, they just got sent by Xset right at the wrong moment. They won that extra fight against Fnatic, but unfortunately, a Balcol just came in at the wrong time. Didn't quite have time to get the reset. NRG and TSM, they had slightly longer rotates coming up from checkpoint, from the wall, so they couldn't quite get into the zone. They were coming through antenna. Won a fight here, I think it was against, Dreamfire, but then unfortunately, as they continued into the zone, just couldn't quite make it, and that's definitely the story of some of these zones, right? It's just impossible to crack in once those teams have solidified their positions.
Yeah, then you come to this moment with TSM, Hal last standing, throws out the black hole, hits the fence, it bounces back here. It's like, I don't even know if he would have been able to get it over if that would have saved them. Then you start focusing on Ascend and Alliance as they go to take their position on the other side of Shipfall. The moment we started seeing it pull more towards Gale Station, more towards Shipfall, I'm like, yo, Ascend can win this. They have won these, and Glitter was like, my stomach dropped. And we ran out here, and I was like, I need to see the reactions live, bro, because I thought they were going to take it.
Right.
There was just too much chaos for Ascend to handle. I mean, the zone might have been in their favor. The map is literally in their favor. This is something that could have completely gone their way, but no one was about to let that happen. Xset, the guard, also phenomenal positioning up here. They were able to capitalize on EXO pushing out a little bit earlier than them, trying to wrap around that rock, but as soon as they started taking those shots, they knew they drew too much attention onto themselves, and that's when they started taking damage in return. They go down, opening up the door for Xset to continue their push, but it is E6. E6 wanted it more.
They really did, and you can maybe say that Keon bit off a little more than they could chew. That attention ended up dropping him early, and then they had to play as 2 as the guard and not a full team dropping. But it ultimately led to Element 6 making the move. You couldn't take it away from them. Nags, we had an interview with him. You talked to him just a little bit ago. And, you know, I also think that when you look at players who are in that controller zone, you look at Amphi and you look at comparatively Zane who had performed, you've got to put them in the category of top performers here, even though we don't talk about them all enough. Element 6, 21 points here, 9 kills. That is massive. And of course, Xset dropping in with 16. Will that be enough to push them on to match point? We'll find out in a moment as we head over to our page 2. It was Fnatic leading the charge there. NRG, not a great game, but they get those 5. I think that's a strong move. We already know they have a chance to win, so they're not looking for any more points. SA, Singularity, not doing it. Esports Arena as well, not doing it. But let's react to our series results and see if anyone else has joined match point. They have. It is Xset now, one of our 4 teams who, if they win, can take home the title.
Which is scary because it's just another heavy hitter. 2 more teams below them on 49, so right at that match point eligible spot as well. But we talked about this before we started Storm Point. We knew NRG and TSM might struggle on this map a little bit. They both had a really rough game, and it's going to continue opening up the doors for those other teams if they happen to do that again.
And Gino?
And at 49 points, right, every single kill is mattering. And in the early game, you're seeing that it's easy to get kills in that the teams rotating in are just getting obliterated by everyone who's found their spot in the zone. But they are hotly contested between those teams who have already made it in there.
It is a little bit scary if you are more of an aggressive style team. You're seeing these teams that are playing zone slower. You're seeing Ascend be in the mix. You're seeing, Element 6, although that maybe not the same style as the Guard, who we expect to be in that zone, who may be a bit quiet today so far. I think now as the time goes on, the game starts to shift. It becomes a little bit more of a chess match versus a boxing match. And we're not doing chess boxing here. I mean, that's a fun idea for the ALGS, but not this time around. We don't have enough time or budget for that. I do want to let you know, though, Tiff, you kind of had talked to us about that final circle, breaking that down. We have that on display. Let us know what you saw here in terms of how this whole fight played out.
Well, so unfortunately, I didn't really get to see it from Element 6's POV. We kind of checked in with the Guard who's up on this rock, but the fact is they're able to swing behind. We mentioned it, EXO had rotated out from underneath the Guard so early that was allowing them to get shot in the back, but they had to jump down. And the moment they kind of send it on them, Slayer's just swinging back and forth, the way they're just approaching this from different angles, like they just kind of swarmed, bro. It was like hunters like swarming their prey like lions.
I think one of the big factors in that fight
I love that. Yeah, there it is.
Was the fact that they didn't lose much health, right? So they won the fight, and it was, they'd taken a fair bit of damage, but luckily the instant shield swaps just pretty much brought all of that back. So it was a very quick reset for Element 6 to kind of even things up there.
We are getting to a point where now there's almost too many teams that are on match point to try to single any one of them out. If that is a strategy, not all teams employ that, but some do try to say, hey, that's E6, or that's Ascend, that's TSM, take them out. We know, we're recognizing their legends. It's kind of too much now. I actually think we've hit that threshold. Any more teams, certainly. 2 teams are on 49 points. Several other teams are in the 40s, only 10 points away. Guess what? We are going to see if Game 8 ends it all, or if we go again. It's match point, baby. You got to love it. And to take us through it, it's Onset and Gaskin for the call.
We go again, everybody. We go again here in London. Match point. It's obviously what we're looking for now. So many teams starting to cross that 50-point threshold. We've got 4 there at the moment, Dan. The question is, will we end it right here, right now? Or maybe we'll just keep this thing rolling.
I have a feeling that we're going to end at World's Edge. We're still on Storm Point. We have 3 of our 4 teams on match point who I would consider World's Edge teams, right? Their percentage wins throughout regular season is not that great for Storm Point. Bar one, TSM statistics are far superior than all of the other 3 teams when it comes to Storm Point victories. So, if anyone's going to do it, I kind of have an inkling towards TSM, but there's just something about this lobby on set that makes me think we're going to keep going.
I get that feeling as well, but what a banger game it was from Xset in that previous game as well. A huge amount of points that pushed them over that threshold. But one of the teams, of course, who is on match point, we just saw them for a moment there, Ascend, the European powerhouse, forcing their way past 50 points. And now we have to find out if it's going to end here, if it's going to end now, or if we're going to keep this thing rolling. Copper Box here in London. Let's get this thing going as we head into our next match.
We want to see as much matches as possible. We want as much action on our screens as possible. But of course, we have 4 teams who want to end it here. They want to end it now. NRG, Ascend, Xset, TSM all have the opportunity to hoist that trophy above their heads at the end of today. And it could be very soon. However, if you do not complete it on this map, we suddenly move over to World's Edge, where of course it is going to be a very, very different game.
Well, let's see how this zone pulls. Let's see where we're going to be going, and let's see where the teams are going to be having to rotate to. You can see once again, no surprise to see teams comfortable on their drops. But I mean, I've got to just mention Alliance. How close were they in that previous game to securing that 1 extra point they needed, but they just fall short there.
Not just Alliance as well. Moist only 1 point away. Onek only 3 points away. We have 4 or 5 teams who very much could be on match point after this game as well if we don't see one of our 4 win this game. So if you are one of those 4, you have to take this opportunity. But remember, this is XZ's first attempt at it. Everyone else has had at least one game to try and win it so far. As we see our circle information, we're going up to Stormcatcher, Thunderwatch area. Teams like Singularity, Onyx, EXO, they are in the perfect area.
Very, very likely to be a Thunderwatch end here. We have seen it finish right at the northern tip, and for Alliance, who only need 1 point, you would imagine, just with the fact that they're dropping at such a priority position over a Lightning Rod, with the height that they'll be able to have with a priority to the zone, surely they will be joining us on match point. 1 KP is all they need.
So what's going to be interesting here is NRG are going to have to rotate essentially through XZ or behind and shadow XZ, 2 of our match point teams. TSM, depending on which area they try and rotate through, if they go north, they will avoid those other 2, but they very easily could end up going south and matching XZ and NRG as well. We could have 3 of our match point teams all arriving through the command center chunk.
Have to wonder if there's going to be a choice of a slower rotate for either of those teams, or any 3 of those teams, as you say, to try and avoid those fights that go down, to try and stop being cut down at the pass. And one team to keep your eye on for sure is going to be XZ. They're already on their journey, but it looks like we've already got a little bit of a fight breaking out, and it's E6 on our screens.
E6 versus E36 keeps happening. It's the battle of the E's, and E6 obviously had that incredible game just previously, popping off as they did yesterday, and they just seem to come out of the woodworks when you least expect it, this squad.
Yeah, if you like the fuse on E6, all of a sudden, before you know it, they start to catch fire, and we saw in that previous game a lot of support here in London for Element 6 as well, and I've got to say, I'm a big Case Winnie fan. I love the passion that he brings to his game. He absolutely went wild yesterday with that play, and you can also see how much it means to him. Every time he's leading his troops into a victory or into a big position when they put up points, the smile on his face is infectious.
Yeah, and doing it for the rest of EMEA, of course, our Element 6, as well as Ascend, who are performing very well at the moment. But you got to remember at the start of the tournament, and even the start of today, E6 were memeing a little bit. We saw Revthane coming into the equation. They've been running all sorts of compositions based off what Twitch chat was saying at one point, but they are a realistic team that could be winning this event. They're only 7 points away from match point. No one is guaranteed to be winning this game here and now. There is still going to be chances for them.
TSM making their rotation. It's going to be the skyward dive into one of these sides of the building. You have to wonder if that team on the roof is going to be a problem. They should be able to drop inside without taking too much damage, and TSM complete their rotation. This is a huge moment in this lobby. Hitting that Valkyrie redeploy, getting up into the sky. Onyx are close, and we're trying to hold down as much space here in Stormcatcher as they possibly could. The problem is, with 3 people dropping out of the sky from TSM, they had to give that side up, which means that TSM now have somewhere to play from.
Yeah, Thunderwatch is becoming very busy indeed, and Alliance are going to be sitting at the very tip of the top of the mountain to be able to watch down on all the peasants that arrive late. But what's good about that TSM rotation is they overtook XZ, their biggest worry, their biggest threat on their rotation. I thought XZ were going to beat them to the pulp and they were going to be there first, but you can see now this building is going to be very habited. It's going to be very popular from a lot of these squads.
TSM have to be very aware of not only who's around them, but losing their roof as well. Playing from this position is very tough to do if you lose your roof, because when you do have to rotate out a little bit later, towards where that zone is likely to pull, you have to be so aware of what that team is going to do above you. Who is that team above you? Of course, it's XZ.
Of course it is. It had to be, right? They may have arrived a little bit later, but they said this building also looks a bit juicy. It looks like a good area to hold. We get a good vantage point where we can shoot down below. And also it's a good spot to then move, depending on where this circle is going to be shifted. It's about positioning yourself for all these different factors.
Ascend making a much slower rotation to this zone, though. They are outside of zone for now, making their way over from the western side of Storm Point. NRG currently hold up inside of the wall as well, maybe just doing a little bit of crafting, maybe just making sure that when they do approach things towards the end of this game, they're going to be looted and booted and suited and able to take these fights. Well, Moist down on this low ground. They only need the 1 point now.
Only need the 1 point, and they are in a spot of bother. They have been targeted by 2 squads. They are cramming themselves into this little nook and cranny, hoping they can stay alive and maybe go undetected for a short while before they then make their rotation. It's always tough, I feel, when you only need 1 point, and now they're going to try and make their move, try and escape, but XZ, they're being relentless.
Nocturnal just harassing them with his charge rifle, lots of damage being done. And of course, XZ, the plan here with the long range is just to fend off any teams who try and take the other side of this roof as well. They don't want any LOSs onto them. And having that charge rifle as a secondary weapon here for Nocturnal is going to be vital for them to do so.
Just trying to build up those Evo shields even more. Let those in the vicinity know you are the big boys in the area. You're going to be the ones dealing the damage, and you're the ones you're going to have to avoid when you make your rotation. Crazy that we have 2 of our match point teams in this building, as well as Dark Zero. Remember, they were somewhat favorites coming into this event, being the back-to-back LAN winners, but they still have quite a bit to do when it comes to getting to match point. They are 9 points off. Very much achievable, though, if we don't see any of the guys on match point win.
TSM still trying to just command space, still trying to make their presence known. And Reps has got a lot of work to do here on the Seer. The heartbeat sensor is not just good for seeing where one team is, but when you've got multiple stacked up on you, it means you can plan your next move. There's a team above, you know you can't jump on roof. However, if you see a little bit of damage coming in, you hear a few nades going off, maybe by kind of focusing where the positions are, you might have a climb up where they're not looking at you and can do some damage.
Well, TSM, they can hear a lot of commotion around them, and I'm curious to hear what they have to say. So we'll jump into a listening with TSM and see what's going down.
Hey, they're all far right, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, team right below us, team cannon spot, and that's still the team right above us. Keep looking at my left.
I don't see anybody.
He's sitting behind. Come back. It's a fire east zone. You see this?
Yeah, I do.
That's not good for us. We need to start bullying Evan. We need to start bullying. Keep bullying the team underneath.
Who do you want me to scan for you?
Just on roof.
I can scan a guy right below you. 40 on Seer.
He's cracked. He's cracked.
Leave a charge. I'm going back.
He's one. He's literally one. He got down. He got down.
Yeah.
Is the team still on the roof?
Just watching inside. Yes, they're inside the roof. They're on the roof. They're on the roof.
I wasted my ult.
That roof team could easily drop here and kill one of us. I know. That's why I'm standing here.
I finished one.
60 on Bangalore.
Height.
They scanned me. Height scanned me.
He dropped in the door.
He dropped in the door. He dropped in the door.
Okay, he went back. He went back.
Yeah.
I'm checking
yeah,
out underneath.
Keep coming that.
I don't have it. I don't see them underneath. I'm waiting.
You but did you?
I'm 4 or 5. Yes, I do.
On scan under.
You ready to peek now? I'm peeking now. Come.
1 second behind you.
84 cracked. Down.
Nice.
He's fighting knock. Careful on height. He's one shot. He's literally one shot. He got out. Get back inside.
Just the one guy left. I'm 5-3 now. Where did he go?
4 or 5. He went down the hill.
He went like south.
As we jump out of the listening with TSM, I just want to once again highlight what a great job Reps is doing there. Just relaying information. He's the human UAV here for TSM.
Well, E6 were able to take down another squad, but now they're being pushed. It's Space Station on the other side. They may have lost one, but they should be able to convert here, and they will. E6 eliminated. And that means that E6 did not get enough points to be on match point. Remember, they were close, but they are still now 6 away, whereas Space Station, look, it's a 25-point game they need here, which is still achievable, but at least they can start planning as they're into the top 15.
Space Station should be able to reset here. The res is going to come in. All of this action happening just outside of Thunderwatch, and you've got to wonder how many teams are stacking up right now. It's an opportunity to kind of talk through that, Dan. The only teams who are outside of this zone right now are NRG, interestingly, playing from the north side of the zone, and on the southern side is Luminosity Gaming. While we see Team Singularity taking a fight, though, it looks like they're trying to swing onto SSG and cause the damage, but at the moment it's looking a little bit shaky, it's looking a little bit ropey, and it looks like SSG might have a way back into this.
Well, SSG doing so well in this fight. 2 still up, very healthy as well. Just need to make sure they're watching the angles so the other can shield cell up. It's a 2 versus 1. You just need to play this correctly and hope no one else is in the area to try and third party.
1-1-2-3 might be thinking about having a look at this. They're moving down from the northern side. And if this isn't finished quickly and they can't hit that res and get it off quickly enough, then this is what is going to happen. So they've got to be very, very quick about this in the kill feed as well. Yuki just got a knock onto NRG's Nathan. Now that has huge implications, because if they cannot get him up, then that would be the point for Alliance to move them onto match point.
It was via the charge rifle, so maybe they have a chance, NRG, to get them back up. Also, confirmation, both Moist Esports and Alliance have hit match point. They've gone past 50, and that means they will have the chance to win if if we get to a next game.
NRG managed to get Nathan back up as well. So important for them. And this rotate, it's very, very tough for NRG. But I like the idea behind it. They want to approach the zone late. They want all of the carnage to unfold in front of them. And then from the northern side, they want to try and take a little bit of space away from one of the teams who might fall in those fights. Ascend, though, one of our teams also on match point, having to restabilize here. And look at this, Fnatic trying to rain down some thunder, but the importance of that interception pylon cannot be understated. That means grenades, any utility that's thrown their way is going to be eaten up. But look at the line of sight that's still available. Ascend in the mud here.
Ascend just desperately trying to get back up, punching Kashira and Lufka into a position where maybe the revive can happen. They're actually the most eastern team we have out of our match point squads, because we heard TSM's listening. This is going east. We're going to have to move. It's the same for Xset, but Ascend, they've lost their main man. They've lost Kashira, so post-kill, Lufka are going to have to go as a 2 unless they can deliver that banner to the beacon.
Going to be very, very tough to do with how this lobby is playing out at the moment. Dreamfire thinking about going fishing. Can't quite hook them though, unfortunately. A little bit of damage being done by that Sentinel. Well, not enough to really capitalize on, and certainly not enough to drop from this high ground position they find themselves in. Here is the massive play, though. This could be a huge influence on this lobby. If NRG can find somewhere to play, if they can land and reset here, then NRG are involved in this endgame. But look at the shots that are coming in. But NRG are threading the needle here. They want to try and play underneath.
And look where they're going. TSM are here, Xset are here. 3 of our match point teams all in this same building right now.
And you can see how TSM earlier on were prioritizing trying to take the team down that was underneath. They know this is a dangerous position for any squad to be in. Xset will know that as well. We have 3 of our match point teams stood on top of each other right now.
Ascend are not far away, that has to be said, and you can see TSM, they're peaking this. They are threatened by this new arrival into their household. They say we need to be forcing them away, but NRG also getting griefed by Ascend.
NRG trying to reset desperately, but playing underneath here, even though you've got some cover, it's not great geometry to work behind. You've got the pillars, you've got some rock formations, and of course you've got the wall and the roof above you to shield you, but teams rotating in late, like LG, moving uphill, like the guard, they can damage you. There's so many angles you have to be aware of.
I cannot state enough just how impressive a victory would be from any of these match point teams from this position that they find themselves in. It is a very difficult rotation if this pulls east. We've got Alliance over there, you've got Fun over there, you've got LG already over there. So you have to work so hard, as now TSM are going to have to take a potential fight in the doorway, but it looks like the other team backs off. Meanwhile, NRG are down to 2.
NRG down to 2, and it's Fnatic who are having an influence now. Fnatic are jumping on them. Gilderson's down as well. It's all up to Nathan, who's got a Peacekeeper, but NRG are out!
4 becomes 3. As maybe another match on the horizon, but still an opportunity for one of these guys, one of these teams to be able to bust out. TSM are still holding a solid position, waiting for that next zone, waiting for that information.
TSM going to peek at the low ground once more, trying to just harass that team underneath. Expend those resources, get those shield cells popped to make sure when a fight breaks out, they're not going to be able to reset comfortably. TSM are playing this to a T at the moment.
Ascend have got Kashira back on his feet.
Back.
We talk about important moments, we talk about IGLs. Kashira is now back in the fray. Ascend very much still with an opportune moment to win this game. I would argue that they are the furthest east out of these squads, but now Lufka will fall.
Phoenix King going to be popped. Ascend. The amount of teams stacked up is a problem here. Kashira's going to have to slide out of the way of these grenades. Just about manages to do so. Now it all falls up to post-kill. We've already seen Ascend somehow or other managed to get back into a position where they can play this game out to the end, but it's not looking good at the moment for them.
Ascend are usually so good at finding these kind of nooks and crannies where they set up with Watson fences as the circle again does shift east. It is going to shift away from TSM, away from Xset, and Ascend, as long as they can still stay healthy as a 2, it's still very possible because TSM, Xset, and every other team that was in that building we saw earlier are going to have to leave at essentially the same time.
Onyx in a great position though. They will be in the one part of the building that stays within that zone. There's going to be so many important fights that break out in around 60 seconds time or so. Everyone, like you say, has to leave that building, has to leave the natural cover and engage to see if they can get some space to play from.
Speaking of Onyx, they have also crossed the match point threshold. We now have 7 teams on match point if we get to next game. Xset though, they are under fire. They are in a lot of trouble here.
Knockdown shield being used here. Sykes has got that one up to try and keep Nocturnal and Fun alive. Fun's trying to hold the line at the moment while Nocturnal is going to be in position to pop that Barry. Exit come back out and say, good morning, we want to take you down. Nocturnal with the spray does a huge amount of damage.
So much damage. Back into the smoke. Will be able to get a sell-off. He's done enough damage to push the other team back. And now they're going to try and get the res here. Exit, they're still alive, but no!
Oh. The gravitational lift, you can see it from Horizon. TSM have been waiting to pounce, and now they want to try and clean up this KP, take the roof, and TSM do exactly that.
TSM had their ears to the wall. More importantly, they had reps on the heartbeat sensor. They were waiting for that moment to be able to full send it to take the top of this building. But in 3 seconds, everyone's got to go. Everyone's got to go east. And remember, Ascender's still there in that zone. As a LG, as a Alliance, there are a lot of teams that can ruin the day here for TSM.
The important thing here for TSM is they've cleared this side. You can see Fnatic down on the low ground. Ascend somehow, once again, like a phoenix from the ashes, have 3 players back on their feet and a wonderful position now with this zone.
So many times in regular season, we've seen Ascend win games like this, where they get the fences up, where they hold position, where they hold as much area. But now, TSM, they're making their move.
This is a ballsy play from TSM. They want to try and take the height. They want to try and force Onyx away. They want to claim the building as their own. That's going to take so much damage, though. But here comes Hal. Hal takes down Gambari Otasan. Fun 1, 2, 3 eliminated as well, and all of TSM are still healthy here.
TSM take the height, they take the east side, and they are good for now, and they can ruin everyone else's day from this high ground. Moist Esports eliminated, and suddenly it's 10 squads, but TSM currently on top, but that zone is still pulling away from them.
TSM need to not just think about kills, but need to think about surviving, and Ascend now, they're surviving as well. Exit have been eliminated.
It was Ascend who did the job as well. It was one of our match point teams onto another. That means we're left with TSM. We're left with an Ascend, but we've still got 6 other squads who can win this game.
TSM just trying to influence all of these fights, and once again in that kill feed, you have Ascend players going down. Now, the Valkyrie ultimate, the Skyward Dive, has been a flip of the coin sometimes for TSM. On match point, on the biggest stage of them all, will they find somewhere to play? The answer is yes.
They find a spot, and now they're griefing. They want to take the prime position here. They know Northeast is where you've got to go here. Smokes are down, but they've got the Digi-threats.
Digi-threats. Perfect to see through those smokes. Like you say, Reps picks up one, Verholz picks up another, and TSM are looking hungry for it right now. LG, you are gone.
TSM want to finish this one as well. They can get all the shield swaps they want. They can get all of the ammo in the world, and arguably in one of the best positions now. But Ascend are still alive on that northwest side, as we still have 7 squads remain.
The only team in the zone outside of Alliance who are down numbers is TSM. TSM are set up for success, and you made such a great point. Taking that fight, they're going to have armor swaps available. They're going to be able to stay healthy for longer. This game could well be TSM's.
It very well could be an Ascend versus TSM finish, depending on how Ascend rotate, but Fnatic, they take to the sky. They could be big party poopers onto TSM here. They could very much drop, try and take this northeast side. TSM are going to have to hold their ground.
Alliance eliminated in the meantime. Fnatic land, but only 2 of them have their feet touch the floor. TSM under duress, House taking damage. The Black Hole's gonna go down. He's desperate to get down to his long-time duo in Reps, and just about manages to do so.
TSM holding on, they're into the top 5. Guard eliminated. Remember, Ascend are still alive. SSG and Dreamfire are fighting, and Dreamfire have gone down. Fnatic are weak. This could be Ascend versus TSM.
What a moment this is. Reps goes in, should be able to get the shield swap as well. 3 squads remaining. 1 of them is Ascend, 1 Fnatic and 1 TSM. Fnatic eliminated. It is a shootout to become the champions here in London between TSM and Ascend. Charge rifle shots hit. Who has the utility available? Reps, you saw the Seer. He has the exhibit available as well. He can get that down to get the wall hacks out. That's going to give TSM an advantage, but the last thing you want to do here, Dan, is be the first to be knocked.
Have they been tracking the kill feed? Do they know they are going up against another team on match point? Whoever wins here wins this tournament. Post-kill, trying to take an angle, trying to get an area where he can put down suppressing fire to allow Kashira and the rest to get out.
Ascend have got to make the play here. Do they have the EMP available? Is that what they're going to use to try and push from? it does not get more intense than this. Match point leaves us with two teams as Kashera makes the play. Kashera for Europe gets the shots in, but no shield break as now the fight goes down.
So important that you get the damage here, and it's done!
TSM up in the skies. House goes down from the heavens. London belongs to TSM!
The stats said it all. Storm Point was TSM's in the regular season. They had an 80% win rate from top threes in regular season, and they've converted here today. And what a moment it is for that squad. Raven, the new addition, he brought new life into TSM. And they will be champions here in London.
TSM rise from the ashes. Questions asked. Were they done? Were they dusted? The answer is no. Champions once again in one of the most intense finishes we've seen in the Apex Legends Global Series. But TSM once again are on top of the pile.
And it all comes from that skyward dive, that big risky play to take the northeast of that circle and force the fight to take the lobby by the scruff of the neck and say, we want to own this game. We want to hit it here. We want to win it now. And you can see what it means to them. Just pure relief, ecstasy, joy on the faces of all three members and the coach of Raven.
Absolutely incredible game as well from TSM. Let's just take ourselves back for a second. It wasn't just that moment. It wasn't just the skyward dive. The way that they managed that game, took the fights when they needed to, Dan, put them in position to win the tournament here in London.
And then we saw Verhulst's mum as well. We saw the interview earlier, able to watch her son on stage. And what a moment it is to see your son achieve such an incredible thing. One of the best tournaments I've seen in terms of competitiveness. It took so long to get these teams on match point. And when we finally arrived, we just couldn't find a winner. But of course, it was going to be TSM.
First place in the Pro League. First place here in London. And win is spelt once again at TSM. What an unbelievable performance. And once again, what a comeback it's been this season for TSM. I mentioned previously doubters, but I think the one thing that's kept them all together is that belief, right? They knew they had the tools. Raven coming in, just giving that extra push, maybe outside of the comfort zone at times, to rekindle that form that we know they've always had.
TSM have been through an incredible amount of changes, whether it be through roster, whether it be through strategy, through composition, but slowly and surely they built their way back up to the full amount of confidence. As again, we can see Verhulst's mum right on the screen there. And I mean, you can come across to London and you can see your boy win it across the pond, and I don't think there gets much better than that.
This is what they call a core memory, I believe, for everyone who's in the arena and a TSM fan, excuse me, but especially for the family members. But I just want to, give a shout out to TSM, but the fans here in London, you have been absolutely incredible during this entire time. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to cast these games down, and when it's all said and done, TSM back on top.
And remember, we may have found our winners, but we still have to find out who comes second, who comes third, where do we divvy out all this prize money? $1 million was going out to all of these players, and of course, NRG were up there, Ascend were up there, and even though it's going to be heartbreak for some of these players because they came so close, we have plenty more LANs coming this year, don't we?
Oh boy, we do indeed. We're going to be back in London a couple of times, but it's all about that, Dan. That's the hard work. That's a sacrifice, the hours of practice, going over VODs, talking about how you want to approach this game. What do we need to do better than other teams to lift the trophy? And you just saw it on there. That's what it's for. That trophy, to be able to lift it above your heads, it means everything to these players.
And leading up to this event, the amount of times I heard, well, TSM have to win this to prove they're the best in the world, to prove they're worthy of all the kind of praise that they get online and throughout, the talent recognition as well. And they have done just that. They've proved the doubters wrong, but at the same time, I think for themselves as players to be back on top, that is going to do wonders for them the rest of the season. But they now set the benchmark. This is what and how good you've got to be if you want to win a tournament. People will be doing VOD reviews for weeks to try and see what TSM did differently. How did they achieve this? What were they trying to do in their composition? What were their rotations like? This just starts a whole new wave of development when it comes to the meta in Apex Legends.
And it's certainly going to light a fire under some of the bellies of the teams who are chasing as well. An amazing tournament. Again, from Dan and myself, it's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to call some of these games. But when it's all said and done, TSM are the champions. We're going to send it down to Rain Day because I think we've got a trophy to give out.
We asked the question, are championships given or are they taken? One team has answered that question unequivocally. Your most winningest team in the history of the ALGS London, make some noise for your champions of the Split 1 playoffs, TSM. Fellas, it's been a long time coming. Hal, I can see the smile on your face. What does this moment mean to you after all that you have done, after all you have heard online, all the time you guys have put in, all the adjustments you've made to finally hoist that trophy again? What does it mean to you?
I still got it. You know, we still got it. We never left. And, you know, it means a lot. We appreciate all you guys' support. You know, we always come here to play our best, just for you guys. So we appreciate all of you that coming out. Thank you guys. Even the haters, you know, whoever roots for NRG, you know, I still love you guys. So yeah, I appreciate it.
It is your moment, certainly, but I'm going to talk to someone who I think many consider maybe the rock, maybe the glue to this team. You've been beside Hal's side this entire time. You've been through the ups, you've been through the downs, Jordan. How does it feel to hoist that again and be a champion?
It just feels amazing. I mean, it's been 3 years since we did it, and it's about time, honestly. We put in so much work with Raven. He helped us out so much. We swapped up so many different things. We still kept the core, and it still worked out, so.
Thank you so much, man. Many people know this story. I want to reiterate it here and switch over, talk to Big E. I knew Evans did great things. Verholst, you've had to grow so much and mature in your role from joining this team, from ESA, now meshing with Hal and Reps, seeing the potential, but not getting there immediately. You took the challenge on, and you had the support not only of your family in most of the events I've seen you at, but your mother specifically today in the interview, the touching interview she did. Speak to me what it means about everyone's support during this time, and it finally got you here.
I mean, honestly, there aren't enough words to say how much I love all the support that you guys give us. You guys are the best fan base we could possibly ask for. You guys are all the best, and I appreciate my family for coming out, as always. And we appreciate you guys.
This man right here, I don't know whether to call you a psychologist, a master general, or maybe just the right guy at the right time. Raven, the coach of TSM, make some noise for what this man has done. Raven, this is your moment. You have earned it. I know how much you've given up. What's going on for you right now?
I mean, definitely a super emotional win for me. I've been grinding for just 3 years straight, and I had a lot of people doubt me, but I stuck to it, and I appreciate all the people who were supporting me and who had my back, and also shout out to my boys for all the hard work and willing to give me a chance and listening to me. So, thank you.
Thank you, Raven, for what you've given to this community, also what you've given to these guys right here. It takes a team to get it all done. You guys have proven that as well. What a journey these boys have had. I want to give you one last moment on the stage before we throw it back. Ladies and gentlemen, London, your champions, TSM. Back to you, Tiff.
Thank you so much, Rain Day. Congratulations, TSM, Raven. You mentioned it. Thank you so much for trusting me, even through the fuse picks, right? We had a little bit of chaotic moments, and throughout the entire journey, those boys stuck true to themselves, elevated each individual player to their best strengths, and look what happens when it pays off. Since Poland, it has been, since they have hoisted a trophy for the first time, including Verhulst, man, that's gotta feel so good. But Genome, I mean, talk to me through some of these moments. There were a lot of intense action. You have Ascend, who's on match point, taking on TSM on match point. It was like the biggest war I had ever seen. And for the longest time, I thought Ascend had God Spot.
Ascend did have God Spot. They were in there for a while. They had to get reset so many times. I think they actually possibly went into the zone at one point to get a respawn and then came back. Eventually, though, it was TSM that Valkolted in at the right time. At that particular circle, extremely open. And I was saying it to Monsoon in the back room. It was like, you have to Valcolt late into this circle, and TSM picked exactly the right moment and exactly the right spot in which to do that, and that's what set up that whole endgame.
And timing was to perfection, and you mentioned it best, right? But it wasn't just that clutch Valcolt. They had the work cut out for them. Fnatic, Luminosity, so many good teams made that road to the end game so tough, Glitter.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, on the bottom half of the zone, you've got SSG potentially poking at Ascend. Ascend trying to get in on that. There was a solo left from Dreamfire. And after all of that cleared out, you think that Ascend has the perfect opportunity to capitalize on what was happening with TSM above them and continue to push. Now, we talked about this leading into it. It almost felt like there was just the tiniest bit too much distance between the 2-1 split that Ascend had pushed in with, and that could ultimately have been the reason for their downfall.
It's really tough, but this is where things started to get dicey. TSM takes the top of Thunderwatch, and typically, when you look at this position, it wouldn't be the winning position, Genome. We talk about it, Ascend's on the other side. They have so much success here.
It's not the winning position, but it's the prelude to it. As you said, they had to clear it out. Otherwise, there is no way they were going to get a Valcolt off without getting contested. Once they had that in the bag, you saw there were a lot of teams. And I mean, look, there was at some point there was about 10 or 12 teams just in Thunderwatch. So battling your way out of that is almost like a mini battle royale in itself to get to that final circle. And here we see it. This is where TSM managed to clean up.
And this is where we were talking about the potential issue. Right there. Look how much farther ahead Kashera is from the other two teammates down behind that rock. That little bit of space, what is it, 10 feet, makes the difference between the victory and the loss.
I mean, Hal, going up in that grab lift, getting high ground above Ascend, and you're completely right. That initial opening that Kashera pushes forward, unleashes an entire clip. You're like, okay, the opening damage goes to Ascend, but what happens next?
Yeah, unfortunately, Ascend, they're playing that defensive composition. It helps them get into that spot. But once you're on match point, you need to win. That's where you need the composition that's going to help you win that final 3v3. And as we saw in that clip, Hal goes up in the Horizon gravity lift and just deals with Ascend.
Just utter domination TSM was. Let's go ahead and take a look at our series results. TSM, 79 points, but that doesn't matter, right? Because you needed the win. But NRG, 86 points in second place. Ascend third. Xset, Alliance, Moist. So much representation from all the different regions there, Genome. It has been an absolute chaos mess. It is the playoffs, baby. Like, what more can you say?
Incredible. And, you know, look, the money that they're grabbing from that. You've got to remember, we haven't talked about it too much, but this is also going to dictate some extra slots or maybe less slots for the different regions around the world going into the next playoffs. How your region did as a whole here will be assessed, and we will see some changes happen. NA have done very well. They will definitely be getting some extra slots.
Changes may happen, but one thing that has reigned consistent was the fact throughout the duration of Pro League, we've had a Monster Energy MVP nomination, and I'm gonna send it over to Rain Day because it is time to announce our Monster Energy MVP of the ALGS Split 1 playoffs.
Thank you, Tiff. I'm standing here with none other than the CEO of Apex Legends as the chants reign throughout the arena of the Copper Box. Hal, Philip, here is your Monster Energy MVP. Soaking it up, my friend. Obviously, the reaction was incredible. How does it feel, just personally, you and your personal journey to get here? Tell us a little bit about what's going on in your mind.
Honestly, I think ever since like the meta change to Seer and Horizon, I was mechanically like lacking, in my opinion. So I decided to switch a controller, and it's the first LAN I played on controller. And I got MVP, won the LAN, so I feel like I took a big risk playing controller and swapping to something that I haven't played in for a while, and it all paid off, so.
Hal, I'm going to be honest. You have gone through a journey of putting yourself a peg below her, right? Kind of saying, I'm going to go off MNK and I'm going to do it on controller. And you had to learn. And you had to kind of get laughed at a little and say, is he really going to do this? Is this, going to get him where he needs to be? But you did a bigger journey, in my opinion, personally, hiring Raven, knowing, hey, we need something in our team comms. I need to take something back. I need to mature in the way I'm communicating to my teammates. Talk about your growth, both in that situation and the controller, but also personally for you in this journey to win here.
Yeah, I think like Raven was my idea for the most part. I wanted to look for a coach after Rally because I felt like I was kind of bombarded with too much as a player, and I needed help outside the game. So I decided to look around, and we eventually got Raven. And I've said it on stream before. I think this is the biggest pickup ever. Like it's kind of like Mac and Jordan in the beginning. Those types of players like. Evan is same with Evan. Evan, Raven, like this team is a dynasty, just like in the beginning of the game. This is the start of another dynasty for sure. So.
I think the question, that's right. You can see right down there how some of your best moments of the tournament. As you react to this, a lot of ups and downs, but you came in here winning the split. You guys felt confident from the very beginning that you could get the job done, even though you had to make some adjustments. But my big question here, though, is looking at the support, not only that Evan's gotten, we talked about, but your fans, they travel, they're here in Europe. It's not North America, this is Europe, and you still have the most fans in the building right now. Talk to me about what TSM has meant to you as an org for your career and obviously for the support in this journey.
TSM has supported us since the beginning, like even with swapping players and stuff like that, there's never been any issues, and we've had the best fan base since the beginning of the game, and we appreciate you guys so much. This is why we play our best, for you guys. For you guys. Nobody else. There's no one else that we're playing for except the fans.
Al, one more thing. I know we had a conversation earlier. You gave props to Sweet being a better IGL than you. You both took a step back and said, no, Zero is the best IGL because he's won back-to-back. You just won right here. Are you going to tell the fans, everyone watching at home, who's the best IGL? Who is it, Hal?
It's me. It's me.
I think that'll do it. Tiff, that's your Monster MVP, TSM, Imperial Hal.
I mean, you heard it here first. You cannot call yourself the best IGL in the world until you are hoisting that trophy. And not only did he hoist one, he got the MVP as well. Some really solid words coming out of that. But I most importantly heard the dynasty, the ability to step back, know what you're lacking on and need to work on. Bring in Raven as a coach. They completely changed up everything about their playstyle. Drop spots, macro rotations, genome. I mean, it paid off.
He talked about being the best IGL in the game, but honestly, the thing that really gets me about Hal is I think he's just the most competitive person in Apex Legends, and I think that's what pushes him to the top time and time again, years after winning those previous lands. That's why he's still here and still at the top, because he just wants it so much.
Not only that, but he's obviously willing to work on any small, minor issue that there might be. He's not afraid to admit, need a little bit of help, bring Raven in. Huge boon for the squad. That's so important because someone thinks that they're untouchable can never improve, and Hal's always looking to better himself in the team.
We talk about mental fortitude, the strength, the willingness to adapt, everything to be better, but there's one more opinion that I need. Rain Day, we gotta talk to you. Let's get back you on the desk. We gotta talk about this. I know you just got to break it down with all the members of TSM, a little MVP nod to Hal, the CEO himself. Let's get one more time for TSM, the CEO Hal himself. I need to hear the crowd go crazy.
It's electric. This crowd is amazing. You all are, I mean, I think the best fans in esports. I think we have the best personalities in esports. I think we have the best team in esports. I'm biased, obviously, if you couldn't tell, but I honestly think moments like this, seeing the journey that Hal and TSM have gone, it's hard to be on top for so long and not have people start coming at you. But then to seriously get put down, for people to say it's no longer your time, and to take that on as a champion and then go to work and do the work behind the scenes, do the work in front of everyone, and then to have a championship like this, a statement, to me, that is the most impressive thing in terms of an esports journey that I have almost ever seen.
Yeah, it's just been a really great time. We talked. Yeah, it's just been a really great time. We talked about the ALGS Split 1 playoffs this year being that road to coming full circle, right? The road to redemption. A lot of stories started back when Apex launched back in 2019. We just celebrated the 4-year birthday, but now we have to talk about what's to come. We have the future, right? Because things aren't over yet. We have a season reveal tomorrow, February 6th, so be on the lookout. You've all heard about the changes that are coming and maybe some rumored buffs. I know that I'm a Wraith main, and I want to see some cool changes. And once again, can we get a buff Pathfinder? That's what we really care about. His passive was the beacons, and everyone's got it.
That is what I am saying.
I am excited for everything to come for the future.
That is what I am saying.
Not just the next season, but the entirety
She
of
is
this esport.
spitting.
This is only the halfway point for this entire competitive season. You know how much action we have in store? These teams are going to be working on their gameplay overall, and I think Split 2 is going to be even
But that is
crazier.
what I'm
It's
fucking
amazing
saying.
that we're 5
Give this
lands into
motherfucking
Apex
a
in
fucking-
almost 4 years.
The ring is near. 45 seconds remain. Dibs. Secured.
near us. I'm gonna go get it. We can use it, huh? Okay, we can go there. we need to move.
There is empty. Don't try to take it. Go run for the circle.
Careful. Be careful. You can continue.
Nice try, dude.